Oh man, does anybody else sweat for some reason when they record videos? I just find myself sweating all the time. Anytime I have to set anything up, I'm like covered in sweat. If you're looking to start shooting wedding films and getting into wedding filmmaking, I think the Sony FX30 is the best camera that you can get on a budget. So if you're here and you're trying to figure out if wedding filmmaking is for you and if you should get into it, you're gonna wanna watch to the end of the video. If you don't know me, my name is Matt. I am one half of the Carly and Matt channel and business. We have been photographing weddings since 2019, so almost 5 years. And what we started doing this year is we started offering wedding films as an add-on to our photo packages. But being Nikon photographers, we knew that we had to branch out if we actually wanted to offer the high quality films that we really wanted to give to our clients. And unfortunately, Nikon was not going to be it. We started researching and we decided after a while that the camera that we were going to purchase in order to offer wedding films was going to have to check a few boxes. Here they are. Number one, this camera had to be able to shoot 4K 60. We wanted to be able to offer as much quality as we could with these films, and we knew that we needed the flexibility and would need the flexibility that being able to slow down our footage would offer, so it needed to at least shoot 4K 60. Number two, it had to be able to shoot in some kind of RAW or log format. That is going to be the format that gives you the most dynamic range, the most flexibility, and the ability to spend hours on perfecting those colors that everybody falls in love with. Number three, it had to have a dual SD card slot. And for us, in any kind of professional setting, that is a non-negotiable. There is no option on the table for us if it does not have a dual SD card slot. I think you need that redundancy and you need that peace of mind, the ability to record simultaneously on two separate cards in any kind of professional setting. And number four, of course, this camera had to be relatively affordable. We aren't rich by any means and money doesn't grow on trees, and we needed to make sure that this investment into our business wasn't going to be more of an expense than what our business actually takes in. Enter the Sony FX30. So the little brother to the FX3 with almost all of the identical specs. This was a camera that everybody that we talked to in the industry that had used ranted and raved and couldn't get enough of. Now I know that a lot of you are cringing because it's APS-C, it's not full frame, and full frame is the only professional way to do it. But the 6K downsampled sensor that the Sony FX30 uses and boasts has not let us down in a single wedding. We've already shot 3, we have 1 more this year, and we have pretty much 9 wedding films booked for next year already, and all of those have come not on a full frame sensor, but as a result of the APS-C sensor of the Sony FX30. So I quickly want to run you through what our budget setup on the Sony FX30 was up until our most recent wedding, where we picked up a second FX30 to go with the first one. For the first 3 wedding films, we actually only used one single lens, and that is the Sigma 18-50 f2.8. It's a nice, super small, compact lens that lets you basically slide the FX30 in your back pocket if you really needed to in a pinch. But we'll break down what the rest of the rig looked like because we only actually used one camera for all of the wedding films thus far this year. The setup consists of Sony FX30, the small rig full camera cage V2 for the FX3/FX30, Deity D4 microphone, on-camera microphone, the OCT5 Plus monitor, small rig top handle, step-up rings, the Sigma 18-50 f2.8, Peak Design strap, Peak Design clips, Ulanzi or Fall Cam quick release, small rig mini matte box, and a Freewell ND, and that is actually it. All in all, pretty nice and compact. Not necessarily super portable, but still pretty small compared to a lot of the wedding filmmaker setups that I've seen. So a full rig breakdown is gonna come later. I'm not gonna give you the specs on everything and why we picked what we did, but I just wanna give you the total so that you know what to expect if you end up investing or wanting to invest into a exclusive FX30 wedding filmmaking setup. So if you picked up all the same gear that we just listed on this rig before your first wedding film, according to prices right now at the time of filming this video, you'd be breaking the bank at $4,066.65. Wait, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but keep in mind the three main cameras that wedding filmmakers are using these days are the Canon C70, which runs at $7,000 body only Canadian, the FX3, which starts at $5,000 Canadian without anything but the body, and the Panasonic S5 II and S5 IIX start at $2,900 body only. So all things considered, $4,000 give or take for a full cinema breakdown with a cinema camera that is going to give you these amazing results is actually budget in my mind. The Sony FX30 produces images that are so on par with all of those cameras previously stated that I think anyone in a professional setting would be hard pressed to differentiate between this camera, the FX30, and all these other ones without really fine tuning and picking through the nitty gritty. What does that even mean? You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It's awesome and it blows all of these cameras out of the water. I think personally the wedding film industry is still an untapped potential, and there's still a lot of potential for people to get in on the ground floor, especially with how hard our world is trending when it comes to video content over even photos. There's always going to be a place for wedding photos, but I think with how the world is going, video is going to become more and more important, and we are going to need more and more wedding filmmakers. So this might be an opportunity for you to jump into something that you hadn't previously thought of. Disclaimer before the end of the video though, just because I'm saying this is a budget option does not mean the FX30 doesn't have a major learning curve. Just because you pick up what I say is budget, it does not mean that you are going to be able to reproduce images like the ones that you've been seeing right off the bat. It took a lot of shooting and a lot of trial and error before we were able to really fine tune our images into what we wanted them to look like. Even though on paper a camera might produce stellar images, it all has to do with the story that is being told by you, the filmmaker. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, disagreements, drop them in the comments. I love to hear it. I love responding to comments, no matter how negative they might be. I'm genuinely interested to see what you think. I personally think the FX30 is the best bang for your buck budget wedding filmmaker camera that you can get right now. But if you disagree, let me know, tell me why, and tell me what you're using. Like the video, subscribe if you're new here. I would love to see your face again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.